This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
Not have enough ships to patrol and to protect Canada like we should, which is why we're investing.
Tonight, forging friendships, a look at what could be Canada's new fleet of subs, and a deep dive into a potentially huge investment for CFB Esquimalt.
Today, we have decided to void the 3 orders and councils that led to the removal of the board.
A school board reinstated. The province walks back its decision to fire the Greater Victoria School District's Board of Trustees. Plus, Adam finds out how a man picking up litter is scattering positivity around his neighborhood. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening and thank you for joining us. CFB Esquimalt has been a hub of activity over the past few days. A Korean submarine sailed into Victoria for a joint military exercise with the Canadian Navy. But the sub is also on a mission to woo Canadian buyers, with an historic procurement decision looming on the horizon, one that could bring hundreds of jobs with it. CTV's Adrian Gobriel got a chance to check out the merchandise.
Cutting through Canadian coastal waters, the arrival of the Republic of Korea's Navy is promising to usher in a new era of middle power might and cohesion in protecting the open seas.
Be safe! Yeah! What really hits home is that Canada needs new submarines.
The Republic of Korea Navy arrived at CFB Esquimalt this weekend on board its KSS-3 submarine. A bid is in place for Canada to purchase 12 of these South Korean-made subs. The only other finalist vying to deliver Canada's next-generation submarine is a joint German-Norwegian bid. Ottawa will announce the winner of the contract this summer, which could come with a price tag of $25 billion. The Korean Navy gave CTV News a tour inside the submarine that could be the centerpiece of Canada's naval future. We were forbidden from taking any of our own video inside. Korean Navy provided footage shows their crew in action. The submarine is more spacious inside than Canada's aging fleet, with the capability to deploy both anti-ship and land attack cruise missiles.
I just want to say thank you.
2 Canadian submariners traveled with the Korean Navy for part of the journey to Canada. When asked to compare the difference between the current Korean sub to Canada's aging fleet, they didn't mince words.
It's kind of like buying a brand new Tesla, you know, and then you're coming out of a 99 Honda Civic.
The Canadian Navy's 4 Victoria-class subs were first built in the 1980s. Only one is currently operational.
You have 3 oceans to patrol. How difficult does that make your job?
I do not have enough ships to patrol and to protect Canada like we should, which is why we're investing.
Currently, the Canadian Navy has approximately 200 submariners. They will need at least 1,000 strong to operate a fleet of 12 submarines.
This is all about democracy and freedom.
The ambassador of the Republic of Korea to Canada believes his country is well positioned to help protect Canadian coastal sovereignty.
Middle powers need to work together, and Korea stands ready to work together with Canada.
In increasingly troubled waters, the Canadian government is focused on forging friendships as it rekindles historic military alliances.
With a decision expected as early as this June, whoever is chosen to deliver Canada's next-generation submarine is poised to play an integral role in shaping the country's Navy for decades to come. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, CFB Esquimalt.
If Canada does purchase 12 of those state-of-the-art submarines, bases like Esquimalt will need to house the war machines and the estimated 800 crew members to staff them. CTV's Brendan Strain finds out just what will be needed for bases to become modern submarine hubs.
Pomp and ceremony was on full display today at CFB Esquimalt as the Royal Canadian Navy kicks the tires on the KSS-3 Korean submarine.
We are investing in new submarines, new destroyers, new supply ships.
That investment will come with the need for more people and infrastructure.
We have already started the infrastructure upgrades right here in Victoria and expect to spend over $10 billion over the next decade.
Building jetties, training facilities, warehouses and maintenance buildings that will be needed for the expanded Navy. Over the next 10 years, the commander of Maritime Forces Pacific says CFB Esquimalt will completely transform.
It's incredibly exciting.
The mayor of Esquimalt says the investment in Esquimalt, as well as the base over the past few years, has already been significant.
But what is coming
is going to be exponentially greater.
Federal properties pay PILT, payment in lieu of taxes, which is calculated between BC assessment and the federal government. Essentially, when there is growth through development on the base, the government will cut Esquimalt a bigger PILT check each year. Currently, roughly 20% of Esquimalt's revenue comes from federal properties, particularly CFB Esquimalt.
Over time, we think that the PILT revenue will increase.
The West Coast share of the 12 new subs will be housed on the Colwood side of the base, meaning a substantial gain for that community as well. The mayor says there are some concerns that will come with that beefed-up military workforce.
Around transportation, transiting around the region.
She says light rail transit could hold the solution to that problem. There is also the ongoing issue of housing in the region.
We have increased our density close to the base for that reason.
More daycare spaces will be needed, as well as family doctors.
These are good-paying jobs, and so we want to support them.
Whether Canada chooses the Korean subs or Germany's offering is still unknown.
Canada is a maritime nation. We have the longest coastline in the world. We need to reinvest in our Navy, and we are doing that.
One thing is certain, a new fleet will be coming to the West Coast in the coming years, transforming CFB Esquimalt and the communities that surround it. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Esquimalt.
The province is walking back its decision to fire the Greater Victoria School District's Board of Trustees. The entire board was dismissed last year over its policy to keep police out of schools. The matter is scheduled to be heard in court all week, but now the province's case has crumbled. We bring in CTV's Anna McMillan now with more. Anna.
A legal blunder on the part of the government of BC has led to the reinstatement of the Greater Victoria School Board. The province is voiding the orders it issued to fire the trustees last year over the board's ban on police in schools. Education Minister Lisa Bear says ministry staff inadvertently failed to provide all necessary documents as part of the disclosure process for a judicial review.
What we have here is a significant administrative error that has resulted in compromising the fairness in the adjudication of the case. And so we're taking a significant step to remedy that error.
The BC Civil Liberties Association joined the trustees' case against the province, arguing the government abused its power by intervening with a democratically elected board. One of the association's lawyers says the disclosure in question includes texts between Victoria Police and ministry officials and a special advisor who helped the board develop a safety plan.
There is a concern that they were essentially trying to encourage the political interference in the school with the school board in this case.
She says the court heard the text included derogatory comments about board members. In a statement, Vic PD says while its officers are entitled to hold personal views, the department deems the text exchange unprofessional and says the views don't reflect the position of the department. It's emphasizing the fact that the government's orders were quashed not because of the content of the texts, but because of the failure to disclose them.
It's my job now to make sure that I fully understand the complexities of what happened so that we can address it.
A school board meeting scheduled for tonight has been cancelled. CTV News is awaiting comment from the Greater Victoria School District on the reinstatement of its board. New trustees will be selected as part of the general elections in October. Nafisa.
Anna, thank you. Contract negotiations between BC Transit employees and BC Transit broke down over the weekend, leading to a strike vote later this week. Unifor Local 333, which represents over 700 workers, says talks broke down Saturday night over what it describes as a failure to meet its bargaining mandate. The union represents bus drivers, maintenance workers, skilled trades and support workers within the Victoria Regional Transit System. The union says there are outstanding issues that need to be addressed in the contract, including safety for drivers and extended benefits.
Quite honestly, we're finding ourselves here in 2026 having to still fight for our dignity, and that is being respected by our employer. And one of the ways that they have the ability to show that is by giving us sufficient time to walk to and from the washroom and also use the washroom. So that too in itself is one of the issues outstanding at our bargaining table.
It is now preparing its members for a strike vote, which is scheduled for Thursday. For now, buses continue to operate as normal, and the dispute does not include Handy Dart, which is currently in separate contract negotiations. The BC Lions played to a sold-out crowd in Langford this weekend. preparing for over 6,000 fans at Starlight Stadium in their preseason opener. It's the second year in a row the team has played to a sold-out crowd in Langford, though the game didn't go their way, losing 34-16 to the Edmonton Elks. The team says they had a chance to play some of their up-and-coming stars.
Nice weather yesterday. It was a little warmer than it was today. Cloudy. We've got some showers in the area, and we're at 14 degrees in Victoria. Back to sunshine and back into the 20s over the next couple of days, though. The forecast is next.
Welcome back, Josh. A gray start to the week, but a warm-up is on the way.
Yeah, the rain's almost out of here. It'll move out later on this evening, and then we've got some fairly warm temperatures and bright blue skies in the forecast for most of the island for much of the rest of this week. Things will take a little bit of a turn Friday, but the next couple of days look great. 14 degrees in Victoria right now. We get to 15 for a daytime high today. It's currently 15 in Nanaimo, Port Alberni, Comox, 13 there in Tofino. A little breezier as well out on the west coast. There's the showers being shoved in from south to north across the island. It's not blanketing the island with heavy, steady rain, but you are seeing some showers move through, and certainly some fairly overcast skies for much of the island. That's the system responsible for all this. Big upper level low anchored off the west coast. That's grabbing all this moisture. You can see shoving it north. I think that's going to move out of here, though, over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours. And that is what replaces it. Some really warm air in the mid and upper levels. So you get the sunshine, and temperatures, they're still going to be in the mid-teens here for the north, but back into the 20s for Victoria, Nanaimo, close to 30 possibly later this week for some inland areas. 15s and 16s is just slightly cooler than average in the north. Still some lingering cloud in the morning, and then sunshine and gusts to about 50 kilometers per hour tomorrow afternoon. That wind should die down Wednesday, Thursday. We'll get a chance of some showers on Friday. Inland areas, some fog patches overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning, but mainly sunny skies for most of tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. 23 tomorrow, 28 or 29 on Wednesday, and up to 26 Thursday. Some extra cloud cover. Big cool down for Friday, Saturday, back into the high teens for daytime highs. Morning fog patches possible along the west coast, then gusts to around 40 kilometers per hour and mainly sunny with a high of 16 tomorrow. 18 in sunshine Wednesday. Looks like the showers will hold off until Friday night or Saturday. Comox, low 20s for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sunshine tomorrow and Wednesday. Some increase in cloud late in the day Thursday. And you could see some rain Friday, Saturday in through that Comox, Courtney Valley area. So we'll see how that develops as the week goes on. In Nanaimo, gusts to around 40 kilometers per hour, mainly sunny and 21 tomorrow. 22 and 23 for highs Wednesday, Thursday. That's a handful of degrees above average. Back closer to average, though. Mid-teens for Friday, Saturday with a chance of some scattered showers on Friday. No heavy rain, but maybe a few hit-and-miss showers. Fog patches overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. That'll give way to some sunshine in the afternoon. A little gusty in the morning, but the wind will die down in the afternoon. We'll get to about 20 or 21 for a daytime high. Mid-20s on Wednesday, so about 10 degrees warmer Wednesday than it was today. 22 in sunshine Thursday, and then windy with the chance of some showers on Friday as we close the work week. Back to some sunshine, though, it looks like, for the weekend. So temperatures back above average and returning to the 20s here with some sunshine to feast over the next few days.
All right. Thank you, Josh. A North Island First Nation is peacefully protesting a treaty agreement it says will unfairly impact its people. The province has nearly completed its Comox Treaty, but neighboring nations say the agreement fails to address some of their issues despite impacting their lands. CTV's Andy Garland tells us the nation is prepared to take larger action if the treaty is not paused.
Generations, young and old, of the Wew'utkum First Nations took to the streets of Canberra River this afternoon.
We're worried that we're going to lose title rights to our land.
And I am really frustrated with this process of what's happening to our nation.
The nation is protesting what it calls a lack of response from the province regarding the Comox Treaty legislative process. A treaty Wew'utkum says impacts their nation and lands, but doesn't address their needs.
So that we can have the time and space to have peaceful peaceful resolution, a negotiated resolution to the overlapping claims that exist.
Our Weewacum territory, 80% of their map overlaps our map, and so that's a big concern for us.
Comox First Nation disagrees with Weewacum's requests, and their chief says the Comox Treaty contains clear provisions protecting the rights of other Indigenous nations, and similar provisions have already been upheld by the courts in BC.
They should have to demonstrate that they've satisfied the overlapping concerns with their neighbor before being able to advance to this stage, and that's really a flaw in the BC treaty process.
The Minister of Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation tells CTV News the province has been working alongside Canada and Comox since 2008 to consult with all the First Nations who have identified shared or overlapping territories and are potentially affected by the Comox Treaty.
We were negotiating together collaboratively with an effort to maximize the control and the transfer of lands back to us as a group of nations. And it's unfortunate that over the last several years, maybe 10, just as an estimation, where things started to go a different direction.
If the treaty process isn't paused, Weewacum is strongly considering disrupting transportation corridors on their lands, including the Quadra Island Ferry and the cruise ship route through the Seymour Narrows.
The last thing we had hoped to do, and to put pressure on government to come and meet us so that we can resolve this in a peaceful, civil way.
Our friends in Comox are not our enemies. We just need some meaningful dialogue to try to get to the table to work out some of the issues that we're currently having.
Enough is enough. There's still several years before the modern Comox Treaty is ratified, but Weewacum wants these issues resolved before it moves on to the federal level. Andy Garland, CTV News, Campbell River.
A marmot on the Mid-Island has taken a wrong turn and is capturing the attention of locals and researchers trying to keep the species thriving. This endangered Vancouver Island marmot was last seen near the Old Island Highway in the Shelter Point area of Campbell River. Researchers worry for the marmot's safety with roads and birds of prey if it doesn't return to a more hospitable environment. Those trying to capture it say he was likely being kicked out by its parents, a natural process called dispersing, when it took off in the wrong direction.
It's really a suite of hazards that, put him at serious risk. We want to put him where he's safe. And the one thing about this, the Vancouver marmot is a critically endangered species. And so the wild population is about 420, but we're sort of in this situation where every individual is still important to the recovery or the restoration of the wild population.
This particular marmot was born in the wild and is not tagged, making it difficult to track. If you see a marmot in the wild and think it needs assistance, the Recovery Center encourages you to reach out to them through their website. Coming up, Herbert helps. Adam finds out why a man picking up litter is being compared to a superhero in his neighborhood. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Ancient Egypt, obsessed with life, open soon at the Royal BC Museum. And CTV wants to send you on an Ancient Egypt Royal BC Museum experience worthy of the pharaohs. Text museum with your first name to 71010 for your chance to win.
Finally, Adam finds out how a man picking up litter is inspiring his neighborhood to pick up their spirits on this Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Well, he's not faster than a speeding bullet or more powerful than a locomotive. Herbert Eaton is proving to be a superhero of sorts.
I just want to come out and enjoy my time picking garbage up.
And while he can pick up a bounty of butts in a single day,
300, sometimes I get more than that,
and demonstrates the ability to do it every day,
3 to 4 hours.
Herbert is too humble to reveal the true potential of his powers, but others are happy to try.
He does good things around here. Friendly, tries to be happy.
always looking for someone to help.
Like when he discovered this handful of discarded credit cards and ID.
I'm going to try and turn it in somewhere or see if I can find a person.
And although he's never sported a costume, Herbert has been seen carrying groceries for people with mobility issues, sharing jokes with strangers who seem down, and giving food to the hungry.
He's just not judgmental. He treats everyone like their needs are important.
Now, you should know there's no death-defying origin story here. Herbert says he just started volunteering to do this one day because he was bored during the pandemic and hasn't stopped since.
It's fun picking up stuff, trying to keep the place clean.
And although people have offered him donations and gratitude, Herbert has never asked for anything in return.
And I'm just happy one day to say thank you for the great work you've done for us.
We appreciate
and
it.
Keep it up.
But Herbert is most happy when neighbors like Danielle are inspired to join him in not just cleaning up, but building up the community.
So we feel like we're connected to something, so it's less isolating.
We can learn to make our community better and healthier.
It lifted my mood. Think about something else besides yourself and your own problems.
And perhaps that's Herbert's greatest power of all, showing you don't need to commit spectacles of service to be a hero. You can be super by simply helping others. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, New Westminster.
Herbert out there leading by example. That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.